I started with the Sioux Falls School District 15 years ago. I actually just received my PIN, and I started as an educational assistant. I started in the summer working with early childhood, and then went to Horace Mann and then worked in the Burgess program there before becoming a behavior facilitator at Washington High School. From there I went to Axtell Park as a teacher. I taught math and science for the Flex program in the alternative programming setting that they have there, and then went to Whittier for 1 year to be an EL teacher in math and science during 2020. So there wasn't just a learning curve for EL, but also doing that during the COVID era, and then became the mathematics instructional coach for middle school level, and then landed here at George McGovern as the Dean of Students. One of the artifacts I kind of already shared with you, one of the paintings in my office, I just ran into the student who painted that. He's working in town here at one of our grocery stores, and he was incredibly excited that I came through his line, and to tell me about he now has a baby, and to tell me about his life now and what he's doing. I sometimes get messages from students. I actually just was invited to a high school graduation for a former student who moved to Iowa. So she'll be graduating from high school this year in Iowa, and I'm hopeful to attend that event for her. So I keep in touch with a lot of my former students, and it's really special to know the impact that I've made, but I also know they've made a huge impact on me and my career and just in my life. A little unexpected this past year, I was only at Whittier for a year and only in the EL department for that year, but I had 2 students reach out to me this year who were graduating high school, and they graduated partway through the year, but they reached out to me to see if that would be something I'd do. They started emailing me, months ahead of time to let me know this is what we're doing, this is the next step, and then to ask if I could come be a piece of that. And I didn't even realize that we had made a strong enough connection for them to really want that, but they ended up telling me, and there was 2 of them, that class was very impactful for them. They felt like in that setting and with that community and with the teachers that they had that year, that's when they really felt like they kind of transitioned into being part of our community. And so I didn't really realize that in that short amount of time how impressionable 1 year could be for a student. So my mom was an educator, and she was fabulous. She was a phenomenal elementary school resource teacher. I kind of knew that maybe elementary school, amazing educators in elementary school. I kind of knew that maybe wasn't for me. I was on a different track when I was in college. I was a biology major. I was going to go do something medical. That was my interest. But when I took a position as an EA in the summer, and that was just something I thought I was going to do for the summer, I realized that I really liked the school setting, and I didn't see it, but it came back kind of full circle. And I feel like, my mom was kind of present in that moment for me to say, I saw this in you the whole time, right? So it's been the best decision I ever made to pursue a career in education. Sounds cliche, but the kids, I love our kids, and truly love our kids. So many educators know this feeling, but at home or out in the community, when I say my kids, I have to clarify. Am I talking about my home kids or my school kids? They're all my kids. I have a true love for the kids and doing whatever I can to be a light in the world, or to be someone that they can rely on, or just be someone familiar. Well, this is kind of a hodgepodge of items that are meaningful to me. I have some pictures with students. These are a lot of them former students that I ran into at a football game, and they wanted to take a photo. This is one of our former RISE students. I have an Uno belt that I'll talk to you about in a little bit, but he made one because he wanted one, so that was fun. This is a couple of our RISE students at our school dance. But then this is a birthday card I received in 2016 from my class that they handmade. This is from our 6th grade class this year. So just kind of a hodgepodge of things that are meaningful from staff and students. These are 8th graders. When they leave, they write a book about their future and what was meaningful in middle school. And these are a few where they wrote something to me or about me that was meaningful. And sometimes I just look at them because I'm like, you know, it's a crazy day. Wait, this is the impact that we have, so. And then over here, this vase was made by one of my students when I was at Axtell. It just in an art class, but when I left, she asked if she could give this to me. And it's one of the most talked about things in my office. I think kids always ask, what's up with that crazy face? But it's fun to share that story. This is my Uno belt. This is like a coveted thing at McGovern, especially amongst our 6th graders. It's a way I connect with them, but I tell the students I'm the reigning Uno champ, and they can win the belt if they beat me during a belt game, and then they get to wear it around for the day. That belt was made when I was at Axtell Park by one of our EAs. We used to play with the structured teach students there a lot, and that was just something that kind of brought staff and students together. It's a little thing, but it was a huge bonding thing too. So those are a few things, and there's things kind of all around. And then these ceiling tiles, hopefully I don't get in trouble for having them, were painted by my students, each one for a different purpose. One of them was kind of like a cool down project. We were alternative programming, so sometimes we had to have options for that. And then some of them were part of the curriculum. So for instance, that one over there, I had the students, I taught psychology there, and the students were able to choose a multimedia project that they wanted to do to represent the brain. And this was by a student who was struggling coming, but she really wanted to be a piece of this activity, and that was her creation. So that's a brain. This was a couple 6th grade boys working through some science curriculum, but also just getting to know each other. There were about 3 different personalities in these boys, very different personalities, but they created what I think is one of the coolest pieces of art ever. So this was actually, I had a classroom dog. This isn't even my tile. There was a student who really found benefit to spending time with my dog. He wasn't even part of my program. He actually was in a different program, but if he needed a break, he would hang out with my dog. And so he painted this for my dog. He said, I want your dog to be able to relax the way she helps me to relax. So he painted her a beach scene. And when you get close up, it's pretty detailed, and it's a very beautiful piece of art too. So it reminds me what I'm doing, you know, what is my purpose in education, and really it's to build these relationships. And that again sounds cliche, but it's really true. Like nothing else is going to happen in this building unless we start with those relationships. And so those are reminders of where I've been, where I've come, the impact I've made, but also these are students that impacted me. You know, they were part of my family and my extended now family of 850 kids. You know, I have that out there, and to remember, especially in some of the roles I had, those smaller settings, how you can create that family for students too, and show students that love in a different environment. So.